The title of this video might seem controversial. After all, we've all been taught our whole lives to shoot the basketball the same way every time we shoot. But what if that idea is at best misleading, and at worst, wrong? What if the demands of the modern game of basketball that we're seeing now requires two different jump shots to achieve a complete offensive game? In this video, I'm going to explain why you probably need two different jump shots, and why some NBA players already use those two different shots in their games. Before getting into that, I just want to quickly mention two things. First, I've created a Patreon page for this channel, with my online coaching services as a benefit for contributors at certain levels. If you're interested in contributing to the channel, or in my coaching, the information is all on that page. Second, if you do have any questions for me, I'm far more likely to get back to you if you follow me on Instagram and leave a comment or message over there. Let's get right into the video. To start, I'm going to explain the difference between the two shots that I'm recommending that you have in your game, no matter your level of performance. The difference is between what I call one motion early release timing shots and two motion late release timing shots. The difference between one and two motion is pretty simple. Is there a significant pause at the player's set point? The difference between early and late release timing is also pretty simple once you know what you're looking for. Does the player release the ball on the way up or on the way down from their jump off the ground? If you watch the NBA, you see both these shots regularly in games. For example, as I charted in a previous video, the majority of the best NBA three-point shooters utilize a one-motion, early to mid-release timing style jump shot to shoot threes. With that being said, you also see the other shot in this dichotomy all the time too. You see it when players like Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron James shoot mid-range contested jump shots. These can be fadeaways, but also straight up and down shots. Russell Westbrook prefers the up and down version of this two-motion late release timing mid-range shot. You also see it with classic film of legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe. Even more interesting for me is to see that several players use both of these shots. Kyrie Irving and Damian Lillard are the best examples in my opinion. When they shoot deep threes or wide open threes, they use one motion early release timing. When they get into the mid-range, and occasionally for contested threes, they shoot a two motion late release timing jump shot. For those of you doubting if these really are two different shots, I encourage you to try it out for yourself. If you release the ball on the way up from your jump, you will feel a huge amount of power behind your arm pushing the ball up and forward. If you elevate as high as you can and hold the ball briefly before releasing the ball on the way down, or even at the apex of your jump, you'll feel very little power behind your arm. In fact, your arm will be doing all of the work pushing the ball towards the basket. You actually know that there is a huge difference in the power between these two shots because you simply can't shoot like this from really far away, say NBA three-point range and beyond. Your body naturally reverts to early release timing to aid you in reaching the hoop. So why would there be a need for this one motion early release timing shot that we're seeing players like Steph Curry use to dominate the league? The answer is that from three-point range and beyond, your body needs the additional power from your legs that a one motion early release timing shot provides in order to shoot consistently. That's right, I'm not saying that this is optional, I'm saying that this is optimal. There is simply overwhelming evidence that by transferring more power to your arm via early release timing, you will be a more consistent three-point shooter. In addition, the one motion early release timing shot is a faster shot from the catch to the release, or the gather to the release. Sharpshooters from today illustrate this, and you can see that it is shot speed that allows a player like Steph Curry to get his shot off, not shot elevation, as he barely even jumps off the ground. To summarize the need for a one motion shot from three-point range, you need to understand what the demands are for consistent three-point shooting in games. A very quick shot to stop defenders from closing the space, and ample power transfer from your legs to allow your arm and hand to exert a reasonable amount of energy and therefore move consistently. But what about the other shot? Why do you need a different shot? The answer is that in the mid-range, the demands on your shot change. Because you're so much closer to the rim, the need for power transfer from your legs into your shot changes. In fact, it cuts down to zero. That's because your arm has more than enough power to shoot the ball on its own, assuming that you're an adult or an older boy. When you shoot a two-motion, late-release timing shot, that's what is happening. Your arm is providing all of the force to push the ball towards the rim. For an example of this kind of shot, I'm showing Coach Carrie Fotheringham from the Grit Basketball Academy. Carrie and I actually decided that if you shoot a one-motion, early release timing shot from mid-range, you can struggle because you have too much power. But I'm going to explain that in another video. For now, it's safe to say that your arm has enough power to reach the rim on its own from the mid-range. In addition, in the mid-range, you're far more likely to be tightly guarded when compared to when you're above the three-point arc. This is just a fact of the game, because of the space, or lack thereof, behind the player guarding you in the different positions. Because of the defender's more aggressive positioning in the mid-range, you're likely to struggle to get a one-motion shot off. The exception is a floater, which is even faster than a normal one-motion early release timing jump shot. But for normal jump shots in the mid-range, you now need the elevation of a high jump just to get your shot off over your defender. Remember that difference. The two-motion, late-release timing shot is used to shoot over the defender, and the other, the one-motion, early-release timing shot, is used to shoot before the defender even gets there. Some of you might be wondering about players like Steph Curry, who only really use one of these two kinds of shots in games. After all, when was the last time you saw Steph shoot a two-motion, late-release timing mid-range shot? I doubt you've ever seen that, in fact. The answer is that some players are so proficient with their early release timing one-motion shots that their games simply don't involve two-motion, late-release timing shots. Steph Curry and Trae Young have no reason to take those shots because they aren't as efficient as the options that they have from three-point range, or at the rim. I'd also suggest that they aren't as athletic as some of the best two-motion shooters we've seen, as those two-motion shots require a large amount of elevation to be truly effective. Instead, Steph and Trae Young utilize floaters, a viable alternative for the two-motion late-release timing jump shot. They also utilize step bags, which allows them to get the necessary space to get their one-motion early-release timing shot off. Finally, remember to check out my Patreon and Instagram pages, both of which are linked in the description box below. As always, I hope that you enjoy this video, and you'll hear from me in the next one, or on Instagram if you decide to follow me over there.